we've got a rematch. The Chiefs and the Reds. The Reds, of course, the only team to beat the Chiefs this Super Rugby Pacific season. Can they do it again? But Harry, do you want to take us through injuries and returning for this game?
Yeah, as you said, the last matchup, the Reds got up 22-25, was in New Zealand as well, but with the Reds B team. So the big question is going to be, will they roll them out again, right? But new injuries are going to be Alex Nankerville. He hurt his shoulder, looked pretty bad on the weekend. Lachlan McWannell with a leg injury, and Lalamilo came off with an ankle injury as well, just as he looked like breaking through for a try. Josh Flute came off for a concussion. No confirmation either way if that's category 1 or 2, or if he has the ability to get back for this game yet. So watch that space. And returning Brad Weber and Josh Lord, both surely due from concussions. Josh Lord's been a while though since round 12, so a bit of grey area around that one. See what's going to happen. And then there's a whole host of Chiefs players coming back from their All Blacks rest weeks, who I'm sure that we will get onto. Let's start with the Chiefs, Craigs. The players that are coming back, who we got?
Coming back, we already had Tupou Vaa'i back, didn't we? So Brody Retallick, Sam Cane, Luke Jacobson, Samisoni Takiaho.
Yeah.
Just a couple of big names.
Maybe a couple of props. Ross and Dyer back in.
Ross and Dyer.
Yeah, just the entire forward pack.
Pretty much just the entire forward pack.
Yeah. Okay, guys, here's the one that I've got as tight calls. Peter Gus or Akula or Sam Penny Finau at 6?
And I think, Brumbies was the final real matchup, and they had Peter Gus at 6. I'll just lean towards that. So Peter Gus. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way.
Yeah, it's toss a coin for me, to be honest. I think Sam Penny-Finau has brought more of a point of difference this year than Peter Gus has. We've talked before about him out on the wing and in the outer channels, how he's been great there. But, I mean, even his try last week against the Force, he just ran a great line, knocked someone over and ran 20, 30 metres dot under the post. Like, he's just really stepped up his physicality. So I think we'll probably see Finau in the 6 jersey. I think he's kind of earned it. And then Sam Cane in the 7 and Jacobson in the 8 is probably what we'll see.
I like it. The next one I've got here is DMAC 10, surely, Shooter at 15. Or is there any chance that they put DMAC to 15 and shuffle it all around, give Joshua one air run maybe?
I don't think this is the game that they need to or really want to do that. I think they have done that a little bit. Is it against Kiwi teams and sort of, I don't know, games that they wanted to play a little bit stabler and tight and have DMAC out wide and hitting the lines out wide, but I don't think this is the game that they really need to. He's been their guy throughout most of the year, their go-to player in that 10 jersey, and they don't need to find ways to get him involved out wide. They just need to get him touching the ball and controlling the match. So get him in tight, play him at 10.
Right. And I've also got, if Nankerville is out, obviously ALB, I think his preferred jersey is 12, but he can play both. Do they go Ramika Poihipi or Daniel Rona to complement them?
I think Poihipi, he slots straight back into 12 and ALB goes up to 13.
I would have said the opposite. I would have gone Daniel Rona all day long. The man has been on fire, and ALB's best position is 12, I reckon.
He has been. Yeah, look, what did they have last week? They had Nankerville and Leonard Brown. The week before, we didn't have Rona. Did we have Rona 3 weeks back? When was the last time we had him? I don't think we
were just moving them around, to be honest. They all got to go.
Rona hasn't started the last 3 games at least.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rona was filling a role. He's signed a full contract now with the Chiefs. So remember, didn't even have a contract all these games he was playing earlier in the season.
He's been unbelievable. I don't think any of that matters personally. I think he has been so good at outside centre. If ALB wants to play 12, I think that's the biggest thing.
Look, I think you're potentially right, but it's been 5 games since he's had a start. So I don't know. I feel like they've made it kind of clear that he did his role, did really, really well, and they were giving him some reduced minutes in the back end of the year and trying to lean more on ALB.
The funny thing is, in those 5 games, once ALB has partnered Poihipi and once ALB has partnered Rona. So really, I don't think the past performance has really shown, or past choices have really shown anything.
No, I just think it's that Poihipi's been in and around the squad for a couple of years now, and so I would be surprised if it isn't a combo of Poihipi and ALB.
It sounds like a bet. I like this.
we're putting a case on it, Harry.
Not your case of Heineken's, mate. I don't get with you anymore. Okay, guys, where are the Chiefs' weaknesses? Is there anywhere for the Reds to attack? I've got one. Their biggest hope, the Reds, is absolute complacency by the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could have seen that last week, but we against the Force, but we didn't. They ran out 11 different people, and they just took it to another.
That was the complacency, mate. If they ran out their A team, you should have seen what was going to happen.
That's true. No, look, I mean, I think it's not really a weakness. The only thing I guess I can say is the Reds have the best line out in the competition, something like almost 90% success rate on their own throw. I think that's
a pretty good line out, but I think the Chiefs have a pretty good line out as well. I don't think the Reds get a big uptick in that category.
I'm struggling. I was struggling to find a weakness of the Chiefs, and that is why they're the top of the table. But
I'll answer it in this matchup. I don't think they have weaknesses. I can't really think of a clear standout weakness. So
you know what else? I think the only thing we can say is, how did the Reds beat them last time? And that was very simple. That was line speed and physicality. They won both of those in a measure I haven't seen in quite a long time. Like, it was an unbelievable performance from the Reds, but they just gave the Chiefs absolutely no time or space and were absolutely smashing them all over the park. So if they can come out the same way, they might unsettle them for a little bit, but I can't see them, winning.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good point. The one thing I would add is, it's the scary thing about the Chiefs is in the last few weeks, they've decided that they just don't concede tries anymore. Like, their defence has all of a sudden just gotten as good as the rest of their game. Like that game against the Brumbies spent so much time in their line. The Chiefs' line D was outrageous. Like, that was the game I went, these guys are going to win the comp. Like, they're just untouchable at the moment. They're just way too good. So I don't think there's any weaknesses.
I was going to say, even last week against the Force, at the start of the game, the Force had all the ball or whatever for a really long time. And I think the Chiefs had doubled the amount of tackles, like 180 to 90 tackles or something, and yet they'd only missed 3, and the Force had missed about
18 or something.
Yeah, or something. It was crazy. So I think that's spot on, Harry.
The Reds, guys, first of all, as I touched on, it is a completely different team that went over to New Zealand, or it will be, than what upset them. It would be freaking hilarious if they rolled out the exact same team that actually got it done and then just loaded all their stars on the bench. That would be fantastic, but I don't think it's going to happen. First question here for me is the type 5, the front 5. I'm pretty worried about them for the Reds. I think they've been the weakest scrum set piece team in the entire comp against the Chiefs, who have been the best in the entire comp, up there with I'd probably say the Highlanders are the other one. Guys, for the front row, what the Reds did say for a few weeks is that they started playing George Blake, Richie Asiata, and Sepa Agassi together to start the game. And then 35 minutes in, they were subbing them off and bringing on your Fazla Nongor and either Rabbi or Xander or something like that for your more experienced, more versatile play. Is there a chance that they do that in this game? They haven't done it for a few weeks, but is this the game where they go, no, we want our scrummaging front row to start the game?
I think so, to be honest. Like, they got absolutely demolished. The flip side of what you're saying is the other boys got absolutely demolished by Fiji last week.
Yeah.
So you're not putting those 3 on the paddock. They've done it a few times where they've gone, let's get our better scrummages, which sadly have been demolished through different parts of the year as well, on the starting side, and then we can bring on, our players to play bulk minutes. They're going to play the same amount of minutes, but they're going to do it when, there's already a bit of fatigue against them. So I think that's a good way to do it, and I think it makes sense, and it feels like something Thorny would do.
And I think Xander's probably the only one there that maybe could slide in with George instead of George Blake. Like, I just don't know that I have the confidence in Blake to the same degree as Richie Asiata and Sefa Agassi in that front row.
I just don't know if I've got faith in Xander at the moment either. I
mean,
played more games.
I'll be honest, like, when they said that George Blake, Asiata, and Fa'agassi is their best scrummaging front row, I mean, that's not who I would have picked as their best scrummaging front row to begin with. So I don't think they even know who their best scrummaging front row. And I don't have any confidence.
I think that we all know that you don't care about scrummaging at all in your front row.
That's true. Well, look, I don't care. I'm not interested in the front row here unless Tupou's in it, and he's not playing. So what can we do?
He never will.
Guys, the other one I have here is Fluke's concussion. I think throws a spanner in the entire backline and how they go about it, because obviously they could keep James O'Connor at 12 and then move Hunter to 13. Sorry, James O'Connor at 10, move Hunter out to 13 and then find, like a Lawson Crichton at 12. Equally, they could move Jock back to 12. They could put a Liner or a Crichton at 10, move Hunter out to 13. Like, how do they get around this? The smoky here for me is Dungunu had a blinder at outside centre against the Chiefs in that big upset win, which would bring McGreely onto the wing as well. Is that a chance? What are we going to see?
This is actually really quite a tough call. No Pataya throws a spanner in the works because you're bringing in someone like Greeley, as you said, very inexperienced onto the wing, quite small, up against some pretty, flashy, good quality wingers for the Chiefs. The other one we haven't seen for a while, and I think it's probably been too long, and I don't know if he's injured still, but I don't think he is. Isaac Henry. He has been injured, yeah. He has been injured. He hasn't been fit. Oh, he was. I don't know if he still is.
Up to last week he was. I don't know since Saturday.
Look, James O'Connor, I think, has done really well for them in the 12 jersey. Haven't been thrilled with Crichton at 10, but they've been consistently picking him over Liner. So, I mean, that's probably what we see. And then we see Paisami out at 13, unless they've literally gone, it worked for us last time, let's just mess shit up. Like, Thorne just going, man, I'm just going to throw everything I can at this game. I'm going to start, props out on the wings. I'm going to start a hooker at fullback. Let's just see what we can do here and try to do something a bit different. But who knows?
Brad Thorne's actually going to start at number 8. I agree. I think we'll see James O'Connor at 12, Hunter at 13, and we'll see one of the other young 10s at 10. Daugunu on the wing. I think that's the most likely thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree. And I think it'll be Lawson Crichton, as Nelson said. It has been preferred more recently, and he's also a little more experienced. Just the significance of the game, I think it'll probably weigh in his favour. Guys, what about Siru Iru? Is it just chuck him in at 6 with no Liam Wright, or is there a chance you see him in the row?
No, I think you chuck him at 6. Look, I think Smith and Blythe have been good. They're workmen. They work hard. Didn't Smith bag himself a try last week? And if there's no Wright, then Uru goes to 6 for mine.
Look, I mean, that's it. Uru's a 6 and plays more like a 6. They've got the two guys that can fill their lock roles. Uru goes missing. I don't think he's as physical in the locks, and he doesn't really have his loose, open, expansive play. So you lose a lot of Uru when you put him in the locks. So it makes sense you throw him in at 6.
All right, guys. I was going to ask the question, same as the task, can the Reds bounce back from the horrendous showing they put out last week? But I'll throw it straight ahead to the tip. What do you guys think is going to happen?
I think the Chiefs. Yeah, Craigs.
Yep. Chiefs are going to win. Chiefs are going to win convincingly, and they've talked about momentum, and they're just going to keep building the momentum towards probably winning Super Rugby Pacific this year. They've just been a cut above the rest for mine, so I'm going to say Chiefs are going to win this game. Probably about 20 points.
19 and a half's the line, mate. That is cheeky. That is very cheeky.
There you go, mate. See, I don't even look at these things. I just spot on, mate. All
right. I'm concerned that this is going to be one of the historic worst weeks ever for Australian rugby, including the Tars and the Reds.
Didn't you tip the Tars, though?
Man, I fucking lied. I didn't really tip the Tars. The Reds are going to lose this. This is generous. The Reds are going to lose this by 23.
Yeah, I think it could actually blow out worse. I've got them by 26, and I could be unders, I reckon.
I think it could be 40-odd points. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's 30-odd plus easily, if not more, against the Tars as well. But
back the line, boys. Back the blind. This isn't gambling advice. I'm pretty sure we're meant to say that.
I already backed both of them. There was an 8.5-point line for both. I backed them both to get spanked at the start of the week.
Enough chat about all the money that both of you lose.